Well, we got something a little different, short and sweet for us today. We need to change the wiper motor on my daily driver 1975 Corvette. This car I've had for about 2 years now. We drove it to the duct tape drags in Tucson, Arizona last year. But other than that, it hasn't really been on the channel. Well, since I drive it every day, I need windshield wipers. And the first thing we're going to want to do is compare the two and make sure they're the same. This has this cardboard, oh, that's to hold the grease in. So we want to see, just how hard it's going to be to pull this out, and thankfully it's pretty accessible, but probably fairly exposed to the elements, which may be why it died. I'm pretty sure it is the motor, but we can test that real quick. So what we're going to do first, right now I have the key on and the wiper switch on, and I have it in high speed, and we're just going to see if we got any power going here at all. And I think there is, but I guess I never actually tested, so we will see just how stupid I am. Now we got power. See right there? See that? Can you see the numbers changing? I don't got a very good ground here, but we got 12 volts going to it with on high speed, and none of the speeds work, so odds are this is our bogey here. And then the other thing we could check is the ground for it, which is this little individual black wire in this plug, which on a Corvette might be externally grounded somewhere, and it is. I don't know where it goes though. I think we got to remove the wiper motor anyway to inspect, but let's dig in further. You never want to just throw parts at things blindly, Well, I think what we got to do first is take this cover off, just to get it out of our way, and I think that'll let us access this lower bolt down here. The cover's secured by 3/4 inch screws. However, one of them is missing right there, down there, in there somewheres, and that tells us that somebody's been here before, and she might have been a troublemaker even before this happened. The bottom right screw here has this little spade terminal attached to it, and that's actually the ground for the motor. So basically, here's what you got inside of your motor. This is the actual switch here, I believe. This actually sends the power to the motor to make the motor do motor things. And I think it's basically a resistor, if I'm not mistaken. That's how it controls its speed. So one of these is high, one of them is low, one of them is a ground, I'm assuming. And like I said, I don't know any of this. I'm just making educated guesses here. It's what you do when you're trying to figure out how something works. I don't know what this little spring does here. I wonder what that does. Oh, that's park probably. Probably tells it to shut off when that rolls. Park. This nut here should be keyed, and the wipers are in park right now. So we should just be able to take that off and put it right on the new one, and hopefully not have to mess with it. Before I go unbolting the wiper motor, I'm going to take this nut off right here, get this transmission out of the way, or at least be able to pull the motor out of the transmission. Try not to disturb it. That'll work. Our next step here is going to be to remove the 3 nuts that hold this to the cowl. And I think while we got the old vet in here, we might actually do a little maintenance to it as well. I could use an oil change, and I don't know, I could tell the valve covers are leaking. I mean, I drive this car hard every day, 80 miles round trip every single day. That's why we got to get that Eagle going, but I got to be able to get to work in the meantime. There's some goofy little nuts right there. You might even say they're nutty. Hopefully there's enough room for this to slide out without running into the distributor. It's kind of what I was afraid of. Oh, just barely a hole right here. Yeah. I have to disconnect this little T right here. I remember to hook that back up. Yeah. Come on, you fat son of a gun. This ground's going. Oh, well, that's why I quit working right there. That's power wire to the motor. I think that's power. It's broken. It's either shorted it or just isn't getting any power. That's probably as simple as that. There's probably nothing wrong with this. Definitely not out of this car. And you see we got a large hole here, and I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of rewrap some of the wiring in this thing real quick, because it's been like that forever, and I haven't been able to get to it till now. Well, that was a serious case of mission creep. I cleaned up a whole bunch of wiring, actually. I mean, look, I had like these LED lights stuck in the vents down here, and I don't know, I quit using them, so I just got rid of it, cleaned everything up a little bit, and it's not great, but it's a lot better than it was. You know, this isn't a show car. I'm not ever popping the hood for anybody. I literally just drive the car, but, you know, I don't know, it makes me feel a little better about it. What our next step here is going to be is we're going to take this little cover off, which of course has different size nuts. Looks like everything is different size. Why am I not surprised? Hopefully that shaft is the same diameter. What we need to do is put these two motors next to each other side by side and just compare and make sure before we go put it on the car that it's the right one. The motors side by side, we can see that they're very similar but not the same. See, the ground strap here is probably far superior. That's a nice heavy ground strap instead of just relying on this. But because it's a Corvette, it's made out of fiberglass, this might do other things, so we will put this back on, this little spade connector, and hook it back up. You know, because grounds are kind of hard to find in a Corvette sometimes, so you might need that. Other than that, it all looks pretty much the same. Even the motors look to be in the same position. Let's look at the other side. And we're just going to look for any kind of difference in depth. Looks like we've got, okay, so we got some like seam sealer type stuff on here that is not present here. And that's going to be a Corvette thing, I betcha. It looks like butyl. See if I can salvage some of that and just pack it around there again. Necessary? I'm not sure, but I bet it kind of isolates it, keeps it from vibrating around. Anyway, I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw the cover back on the new one, and then we're going to try to install it. I was able to salvage that butyl stuff and just kind of repack it. Good thing about butyl is it kind of pretty much never goes bad, so as long as it doesn't dry out, and that's nice and soft still. It's kind of like dum-dum stuff, you know. So that should be good. We got to pull the nut off of here. I can tell that the threads are bigger on this. It's okay as long as, I don't know, actually that may not be okay. Just eyeballing it, it looks like these threads will still fit through, and it looks like the little D here, double D here, that the cam rides on is pretty much the same size, I think. So let's roll with it and see what happens. We got a cold front moving in, which is great. Love that. Love the cold. Let's get this removed. Hopefully the cover will still slip over the top of this. That's the problem with these new parts. See, I realized I bought a brand new motor. I would have actually preferred to have a reman motor, because the reman one, you know, probably fit on something at one time. And you know, whenever you get these new Chinese ones, it's kind of a crapshoot. Let's try to slip this back over. Fit pretty good. Not bad, not bad. We'll put all our bolts or screws back in. And for this bottom one that's kind of busted up, I'm going to go find a little washer for. Oh, I also forgot to put that spade on here, actually. Now for the fun part, which is probably going to be fishing this thing down in here. We want to keep our wiring harness behind it, like the factory had it. Get it in place without destroying literally everything. You know, that would be nice. It's not like, you know, anything I wouldn't be used to if it did, but we want to make sure that it sits nice and flush, and it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. There it goes. There it went. Now I'm just going to kind of feel around and make sure I didn't pinch anything. I don't think I did. I think she's ready for install, so leave it right there. Just gonna hand start these just so it doesn't run away from us, as it, you know, probably should, considering I'm the one touching it. Strange looking nuts. They're very thin, and I'm sure they're Corvette specific, such as Corvette life. You know, I love it. I love the car, but there's some odd stuff about a Corvette. Before I go put it all the way on, I want to make sure that this will actually, you know, work. Fits on there. Okay. Maybe we got lucky. See right here that the cam is engaged. It's on that little double D thing. And we're gonna put our new nut on here. I don't know if I should put some Loctite on that or something. I'm not really sure. They didn't have anything on it before, so I guess it's probably okay. And I'm gonna tighten that down right now before it has any ideas to go elsewhere. This WD-40 probably wouldn't kill this thing either, honestly. And now I'm gonna tighten these down, but I'm gonna do it alternatingly. So I just did that bottom right, I'm gonna move up to the top left. And the reason I'm gonna do that, especially on a Corvette, is because, once again, whole firewall's fiberglass. And if you go over torquing it, then you might break a giant hole in your fiberglass. And then, boy, that would really, really, really suck. Let's just not even go down that road. And I'm just gonna work my way around it till I snug it, seat it up against the firewall. We'll see if it works, and then we'll lube up some of these joints to keep all the, squeakiness to a minimum. Now, for the moment of truth, we'll go ahead and plug it in and see what the hell happens. Kind of frightening how that plug can go in either way in this one. There's no keys in it that I can see. Well, I guess it was like that in the other one too. I don't know. It'll either work or work backwards maybe. A vacuum hose back up before I forget that. It runs like doo-doo. Where's the little ground guy? Where'd you go, ground guy? Little ground thingy. Where you at? Oh, ground thing. Oh, there's the ground thing. Oh, good. I pinched it. No, maybe I didn't. Okay. Let's hit it. Oh, what a horrible noise. Ooh. Oh, they even turn off. Look. Low. Fast. Off. It's pretty loud, gotta say. That's a noisy motor. But, you know what? It's better than one that doesn't work. And for like 50 bucks on Rock Auto, that's a pretty easy fix. I'm happy with that. Let's grease up those joints a little bit and try to help it out a little, even a little bit more. It wasn't really squeaking, but, also it's not quite parking all the way. I don't know. Yeah, that might be because the window's dry, actually. It needs blades, too. I should have bought those. But that might just be the window. Naturally, nothing can ever go too easy. And there's a vacuum tee that's supposed to go here. That's not this one. And I snapped off the end of it. So it's got like 2 1/4-inch fittings and then one dinky little guy. And I was trying to use this piece of brake tube to adapt to this. I think I got a better idea. I think if I use this modulator valve line here, it goes tiny to bigger, then I can get a piece of 1/4-inch hose, put it over the outside of this, and then slide it over that T. There's this thing. Let's see if we can make it work. It'll be a tight fit, I know that. This is a little tiny vacuum line. And yeah, that's about the same size as that T. So if we can just get a little chunk of 1/4-inch vacuum hose, I think we'll be in good shape. This is what you got to do whenever parts stores are closed and it's late and you got to go to work. A little piece of 1/4-inch fuel hose here. We'll do our job. Fits over the T real nice. So, it's a little rigged, but it'll get our job done, and if we ever need to replace it, then we'll put the correct T in it. But for the time being, this will work just fine. And that's how you drive a car, an old car, every day, folks, right there. Right, so on these joints here, I'm going to try to use a little bit of assembly lube in here and try to work it in. I don't have any like spray lithium grease, which would probably be ideal, but in lieu of that, I think this might work pretty good, actually. It's stringy, clingy, and all that stuff. It's good enough for an engine. It's probably good enough for a wiper assembly. As I think we should be able to kind of shake it around and work it into there. If I just kind of glob it on there. Man, this stuff is stringy. Yeah, see, there it goes. It's working its way into that ball. Yuck. Gnarly stuff. Oh yeah. Much better already. Same thing there. Spread it in there. Try to get a little bit on the back side of that ball. That's a lot better. This one doesn't do it quite as bad. Well, it's still a lot better though. Now we need to do the all-important does it still run test after we messed with it. Never take that for granted now. You never know. Electric fan still works. Runs good. Woo! Yeah, pretty good. Those wipers have never worked that good. I'm pretty happy about that. This has driven me nuts since I owned the car. This was all covered in red overspray, so I shot it black real quick to, you know, for the cowl induction. It is a functional cowl hood, and, you know, just when I'm looking at it, it just drove me crazy driving it every day. So that's a lot better now. I think that's gonna do it for this one, guys. A little short video here, but yeah, we had fun. We got something done. I haven't changed the oil in it. I'm gonna use Shell Rotella T4, but I think we've all seen enough YouTube oil changes. It's an oil change. You drain it out, you put it in. There's nothing special about it, guys. All right, good to go now. I can drive it to work, and I can be able to see. Well, I need wiper blades, so I'll pick those up tomorrow while I'm at it. But in the meantime, make sure you guys check out the other videos on the channel. Check out all the playlists. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that BS. And I'll see you next time on Pole Barn Garage when we get back on the Eagle, which I might go work on right now. I'm not totally sure, but I might.